Looks like Scott's got a Thundermaw Hellkite.
He's got a Thundermaw
Yeah,
Hellkite?
and he's got a Thragtusk. He has 4 swords, 2 War and Peace, 2 Feast and Famine, 4 Bonfires, 3 Greens and Zenith. Pretty normal Juza-esque red-green deck here.
Sure, alright. So, Joe started the game off without the Ponder, but Scott had the Lenwolf. So he got the Thoughtscour. This is really the format of, like, the 1-drops. There's so many 1-drops right now.
I'm surprised Mental Misstep hasn't made more of a splash than it has.
I know, right? Alright, so Joe Bernal takes his second turn. And let's see if we see one of these intangible virtues. Alright.
Ryan Sanders, your draft is waiting on you. Please meet at the side.
I'm going to go ahead and mana leak that elf, paying 2 life for that dismember.
Number 4.
It just wants to slow down the game. That's a great place to be if you're a mid-range deck. You don't want him coming out of the gates, but with a dismember, and it's like, I guess you don't know if it's a pod deck, but I don't really like killing their birds. Their deck is so filled with mana already that I just want to get one of the 4 threats they play each game. If that makes any sense to you.
No, I can definitely see that. I mean, he doesn't know if his opponent's on pot or not. So Strangler guy's coming in, dropping Joe down to 16 here.
It has so much haste, it doesn't even come into play untapped. It's already attacking.
Rarely does.
All right, so what we might see is one of my favorite plays is Phantasmal Image, copying Stranglegeist. And now, what could potentially happen is if Joe blocks, he will get a Phantasmal Image as just a 1/1 with no abilities, and if he has a Restoration Angel, he can then blink it into a Restoration Angel, and because it didn't copy anything, it will not have the clause that if it becomes a target of anything, it dies. So I really like that he might set this up now, especially since he has that Restoration Angel. So yeah,
and that's gonna be pretty nice.
It's great. So I don't know if he knows that that's possible, because that is definitely the play I want to make. Like, you can block, or because you have that Restoration Angel. I mean, you can still elect to just block, make a 0, and then make a 3/4. But I didn't even know that this was possible until I played against Todd Anderson in a playtest video, and he told me it. I did not know that's how it worked. All right, Green Sun for another Strangler, and this is why you never attack with that Strangler. That 2 damage does nothing to Scott, but it is so bad for Joe to get hit again.
And Joe's going to be dropping to 12 here. Both these Strangler guys coming at Joe. Joe's going to be able to, stabilize next turn once he gets that Angel on the table.
Yeah. And now if he just blocked, elected to not copy anything, got a 1/1 other deal, Restoration into 2 Restorations, block both of them with 2 Restoration Angels. Not the greatest play because your opponent does have a Kessig Wolf run, so it's not that huge, but I still would just hold that back and block. Like, I do not want to take that much damage.
All right, so here, Joe, about to take his turn now, and it's probably just going to leave open 4 mana so that he has the Angel play. But, I mean, it's a pretty complex series of rules, the Phantasmal Image Resto Angel interaction you spoke of here against Strangler guys. Definitely something that's relevant, though.
All right, so Ponder's option, he does have that Restoration Angel that's going to come down. And because the game hasn't gotten too far in the game, as it hasn't gotten too far, Scott will not have enough mana to pump one of his Stranglers to kill that Restoration Angel. Which
he's only going to be able to get it up at 3 power here.
Yeah.
I believe Scott just drew a Bonfire. There was a pause for a moment when he drew his card.
Oh, yeah, because he really wants that Hellrider to hit. But, ooh, that
Hellrider's going to get gobbled up.
I mean, you see that Intangible Virtue, you might not think he has Restoration Angel.
You may think he's some sort of token deck, but I mean, at this point, you kind of have to assume that.
Ryan Sanders.
I mean, it's still fine to play that. Let's just see if he attacks with it, though. That's the scary thing.
Yeah, I mean, you might just want to send in with the 2. Oh, and Scott chooses to attack with nothing?
No, he has to attack with something. I just. All right, so it doesn't. He might be doing this. I think it's still combat, and Joe is deciding if he just wants to kill off. He just wants to kill off that before he takes the damage that it's going to do. So now we're going to move into combat.
Pretty reasonable.
I just saw on Twitter Paulo saying that it's a shocker that I think people don't scoop fast enough, but it's true, and you know it. You just want to be funny. All right, so
Joe, almost he's gonna block.
Yeah, you just
with the image.
You block with both of them.
That's fine too.
Yeah.
And then you have the Resto Angel in hand, and you're actually like way ahead.
Yeah, you can block with both. If you have an extra land, you can turn that Snapcaster Mage into a Dismember if you need it to be. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I kind of like this. I don't want both of my... I don't want to lose my Snapcaster just yet. We can Thought Scour with that. We can get some card advantage.
It's fair. So
take 2, dropping him to 10.
Yeah, Joe makes a 3/2. Here. And... let's see. Finds a... it's land that comes into play tap. No, he has the Isolated Chapel, so he is going to be able to Resto Angel and blink that Snapcaster Mage, getting some extra value this turn. Pretty nice.
All right. I want to see something big come out of Scott's deck. I guess he's just going to
Thundermaw Hellkite would be a nice one.
A land to make it so the Restoration Angel wouldn't be able to block the Strangleroot Geist would be good, but I guess that is not going to be done. All right, so we are going to blink out a Snapcaster Mage. Probably target Thought Scour.
Really bad for Scott here.
Yes. His board is almost dried up. He's going to be left with a single Strangleroot Geist with a counter on it. I would just block with Strangleroot because he then has an opportunity at all times to just pay 3 mana and kill it. So put it there, force him to do that now if he wants to gain value.
Yeah, reasonable course of action. And Scott will probably go for that. I don't know though. Largely dependent on what he's got in hand. Like if he's Thrag Tusk for post combat, he's obviously going to.
Well, if he had Thrag Tusk, he'd just play that land in case of Restoration Angel, probably, because then he would be able to kill off the Angel. I'm 100% sure he doesn't have a land. You always play your land when you have a Wolf Run. So.
I mean, you should.
You always should.
Yes.
All right, so the dust is settled, and Scott is left with a Strangleroot Geist with a counter on it and some type of Mana Dork. Multiple Mana Dorks. See, this is why you don't want to dismember them.
Yeah, there's so many of them.
Flashes back that Thought Scour that he just recently turned on with his Restoration Angel targeting Snapcaster Mage.
There you go. And finds another Snapcaster Mage.
You know, Thought Scour Snapcaster Mage is a pretty good combo. I don't know if you knew that.
I wonder if anybody should play that.
I think it'd be good.
Think anybody's ever played that before?
I'm assuming so. We do see it. All right. Ponder from Joe finds a Thought Scour and a Vault that I think you want. Vault seems like one of those cards that is worth having.
I would say Vault is better than bad.
Yes.
In a matchup like this. Also found another Snapcaster Mage, and never had too many of those. This type of matchup. Probably the most powerful card.
Alright, Seachrome Coast comes into play, and Restoration Angel starts swinging.
Is Resto Angel's the best card in this matchup?
Restoration Angel is very good against red-green. It's one of the big reasons why the mono-blue Talran versions ran Restoration Angel in their sideboard, because it was just like so good against red-green beat decks. So on this turn, what can end up happening is if Scott attacks with Strangleroot, gets blocked by Snapcaster Mage, and Scott ends up just pumping to deal a bunch of damage, Joe has the ability to Snapcaster, go for the throat, kill off that Strangleroot, untap, play Vault, and gain 7 life. And that's pretty good. I've attacked with Baneslayer quite a few times, and attacking and gaining life is pretty good.
It is. I mean, Baneslayer Angel is...
I could say that
My
about
homie, you know,
Wormcoil Angel. I figured out that I have an addiction to big creatures that have lifelink. Almost all of them I've
And
tried
the only
to
one
play.
I really loved ever was Baneslayer Angel.
So good.
The others just didn't do it
I think
for
it's
me.
just the art too. It's just the art and being 5 mana for a 5/5 flyer. Like, because Wormcoil is obviously better than Baneslayer Angel.
As a card?
Yeah.
I mean, for the time, no. Like, at the time, Baneslayer was so ahead of the curve.
No. If they had Wormcoil then, or for the time, yeah, that's true. It was so much better. All right, so String Geist is going to get in there. Snapcaster Mage does block. And does Scott want to pump? Nope, he's glad taking the trade. Happy that there isn't another Restoration Angel. And here comes 5 mana for...
Attention Magic players.
6 mana
We are taking
for-
time for the Legacy Challenge.
Green Sun Zenith
to
for
begin
Thrag
at
Tusk.
5 o'clock.
Yeah, and or
It is
Wolfram
a 4
Silverheart.
rounds of Swiss.
He would have probably done that
where everyone that
pre-con,
goes
One would have
4-0
expected
will
him
get
to.
$50
That's true.
in stored credits.
Again,
It is only
that's the
$10.
thing about,
And if you play
watching
the
Matches of
standard
Magic, you never know what to
today,
expect.
That is true.
then you can get in the Legacy Challenge for only $5. Also, we are taking pre-registration for tomorrow's Legacy Challenge.
All right,
I mean,
trying to
Legacy
find...
Opens. Pre-register for
I
tomorrow's
look for this Thrag
Legacy
Tusk, and there it is.
That'll put Scott back up to 20 life, give him a creature and then another creature behind it.
Thrag Tusk is a nice one.
All right, so what do you think Joe does here? He can Snapcaster Mage to kill it, but I kind of want to... Like, you do have a bunch of Snapcaster Mages, and I don't want to waste the removal that's in my graveyard. But,
I think you just Snapcaster kill it, right? Like, there's no...
because you do have multiple ways to remove, so you can Snapcaster kill it again with the Dismember. But tempo is an issue with Kessig. Like, because Kessig Wolfrun is so powerful, but yet so slow, whenever you can Snapcaster and kill off the creatures, it just time walks your opponent.
That's true. Yeah, now with this Vault... Now, Joe can just kind of take the game over with the Vault if he wants to.
Yeah, you have a Vault. It gives you life. It's a great inevitability card, and because you have another Snapcaster Mage to dismember anything that Kessigs, it's just great to be attacking. So he's only going to attack... Ooh, I like this. He just attacks with Snapcaster, gets 2 mana, damage in. Alright, never mind. I just like that because Scott then would, like, pump into his wolf, or into his beast, and then he would just Snapcaster kill it. I would have liked to see that. I guess you don't want to invest both Snapcasters to the board in case you get bonefired. It's better to play around that. You don't have any other resources.
You know, that's one of the dangerous parts about this red green aggro deck, especially when you're playing a deck like Delver. You know, they can just top deck the Bonfire and
All right,
be in a
so
really bad spot.
Snapcaster Mage gets in front of it. He activates his Vault, giving all of his creatures lifelink and death touch.
So Joe's going to hop up to 12 here.
Yeah. All right, so what do we have now?
Scott, we may cast a Huntmaster the Fells, it looks like.
I just love that even if you don't play Mana Leak, you always just have to play around it.
So, Huntmaster coming down. Scott hopping up to 19 from that.
All right, Joe Bernal untaps, goes to his draw step. We find a wolf token. Dice are just not good enough at SCG.
No, definitely not.
No.
Look at that wolf art there.
Beautiful art from artist that works at Stars of the Games, Kristen. Can't pronounce her last name, but her name is Kristen. Kristen Pleskow. Pleskow. I don't know. She does amazing art.
Yeah, look at
All
that wolf. He works out.
All right. So, what are we doing with our mana this turn, Mr. Joe Bernal?
It looks like he wants to...
I feel like this is a Lingering Souls. Oh, no, it's not, because it's Snapcaster Mage, Dismembering Huntmaster. And attack with
Reasonable enough.
Restoration Angel, dropping Scott down to 16.
Yeah, I mean, Joe's out of gas, though.
Yeah, Joe is completely out
Very
of gas.
flooded.
Volt does not beat Wolf Run in any type of race. He will need more creatures to make that an actual reasonable strategy. So here comes a Wolf. He'll probably... I don't know, I kind of want to take it because then the Llanowar Elf attacks anyway, and I want to gain 5 life on the backswing. Since he'll be able to attack for 6, with the Wolf you can backswing for 5, so that's actually fine. But if you lose the Snapcaster, you're only gaining 3, and that's just not enough. So if like Joe whiffs 3 turns in a row, then he might just very easily lose this game, whereas if he keeps the Snapcaster, he gets way more. So
Yeah,
I don't think
it,
you can block
It makes
here.
a lot of sense. The Snapcaster gives you more time to survive by not blocking.
Yep.
Because it's getting you to a turn on D.
So Scott is just going to pump for... I would have kept the Llanowar Elf back to block. Alright, so he pumps for 4.
5.
Dealing... Yes, 5. Dealing him 7, dropping Joe to 5. Oh, another land for Joe.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to crash in with both and activate this vault, but
That's a scary position to be in, though. Only at 10 life with a Wolf Run on the other side of the board. But you just have to do it. You gotta hope that there's something on top of your deck, like a Doomblade. Or, does he run Vapor Snag? Does not run Vapor Snag.
I mean, every turn he's just gotta
Do you know what card would be good right now?
go back and forth.
Blade Splicer.
Blade Splicer would be very good here. Seachrome Coast for Joe. And we can expect him to send both in. And, ooh, looks strange. Okay. Joe decides to not attack. That turn. And a bonfire.
Ooh, and that,
Yeah, that's gonna be it.
yeah,
So Joe packing it in, a bit flooded.
yeah, that's...
Off to game 2 we go.
He was so far ahead,
Scott
but 3 lands in a row.
Ouderkirk.
All right, so on Joe's side of the board, he has 2 Sword of Feast and Famines, 2 Mental Missteps, a Day of Judgment, and a Celestial Purge that I think all come in. I do, well, I guess because you have Doomblade and stuff, you don't need the Purge. I usually, like, in the Delver deck, I usually bring in the Purge, just because Huntmaster can be such a problem, since I'm forced to, like, play spells all the time if the game's pretty stalled. But since he doesn't, I think he's going to bring in the 2 Feast and Famines, which are very good right here. The Day of Judgment, and maybe an Oblivion Ring or 2. I mean, he does have a ton of removal, so I don't think he'll ring. I do not know what he sideboards out. It's he might just take out the Alchemies because they're slow, and you just want to Lingering Souls and Intangible Virtue. But Scott have anything interesting?
Yeah, I mean, Scott's board, he's got 2 copies of Crushing Vines, 2 copies of Combust, a Daybreak Ranger, and a Dismember, all of which we can expect to come in.
Yes.
Coming out, Hellrider, not very good against Delver. I
It's
don't
not
think he wants
Delver,
that one.
but it's not
Yeah.
good against this. It's worse than
Yeah,
this.
it's even worse here.
Yes.
Wolfear Silverheart, another card we can expect to come out, but not a card that you're going to want when your opponent can just flood the board with Lingering Souls tokens. Other cards that can come out, I think the last 2 cards he's removing are probably going to be Sword of Feast and Famines.
Yes.
Sword of War and Peace, obviously very good here.
Oh, yeah.
Sword of Feast and Famine, not so much. So, I think if I'm Scott Ouderkirk, I take out 2 Hellrider, 2 Wolfear Silverheart, and 2 Sword of Feast and Famine, and I add 2 Crushing Vines,
Only 10
a
minutes
Dismember,
remaining
2
to sign up
Combust,
for
and
the
a Daybreak
Legacy
Ranger,
Challenge. Only 10
leaving my
minutes
deck as
remaining.
4 Borderland Ranger,
4
4 Thundermaw
rounds of
Hellkite,
six, where if you go
4
4-0,
Huntmaster, 4 Bird, 4 Geist,
4
4 Llanowar Elves, 1 Thragtusk, 3 Greenson Zenith, 4 Bonfire, 2 Sword of War and Peace, 2 Crushing Vines, Dismember, 2 Combust, 1 Daybreak Ranger. That would be my 60 post board.
I like it.
Yeah, I mean, I played these Bonfire aggro decks that don't have pot in them before, and that's a pretty similar sideboarding plan to what I was using when I was playing against, a deck that was like Joe's.
Yeah. It seems rough because, like, I think Joe's list is more metagame for different matchups. I think he probably thought Red Green was pushed out of the format. It seems like a rough. You know, if you're relying on your Lingering Souls to win the games, you don't want to play against Bonfire decks. Bonfire is the reason Lingering Souls got pushed out of the format to begin with. So it's a rough one. As you could see, the games were somewhat interactive until the Bonfire hit, and then the game was just over.
And I mean, that's why you're putting the Bonfire in your deck.
Yeah. Can't hit the miracle without playing it.
Yeah, you hear a lot of groans when people draw the Bonfires, but
I mean, right away.
If you're not gonna like, they played it so they would draw it.
Yeah, and it was designed that when you draw it, that it's way more effective than most of the time. So
I had handed to Wizards. When I first saw Miracles, I was like, really?
I hated them.
This is a little odd. But then at the pre-release, I mean, I opened it in Entreat the Angels, and I got to entreat the Angels people, and I was like, this is so sweet. Never mind, Wizards. I take it all back.
Yeah, when you
I know it's going to happen to me, but it happening to other people is so much fun.
It also made watching the Pro Tour way more interesting. Like, watching Alexander Hayne pilot his way through the top 8, it was just, the games were so intense. Like, every draw step, you're just like biting your nails, and you're like, does he have it? Does he have it? Okay, good, he doesn't have it. You know, I was obviously rooting for Josh Cho. But, like, those games were more exciting to watch than any I've ever seen. So, I mean, props to Wizards. At first, I didn't like it. It does add a ton of variance to Magic, but it's so much fun to watch. All right, as the players shuffle up, how do you think Game 2 is going to play out?
Joe gets to be on the play, this board. I don't know, I think Scott's just gonna... This version that Joe has, like, post-board, once Scott gets to take out the bad cards, like once he gets to take out Hellrider and take out these Silver Hearts, all of his cards are just so good against Joe. I'm going to disagree with that. I think it's the opposite. I think Joe's deck is really well positioned against a red-green aggro deck because, I mean, the Lingering Souls and Tangible Virtue plan is not good. But, I mean, it's fine, but Bonfire beats that. But Restoration Angel Blade Splicer was the tech that everyone used to beat decks like this. The one big problem is he doesn't have that come over the top card like Suntane or Consecrated Sphinx. Like, yeah, and I'm actually going to disagree with you. I mean, when my opponent was playing cards like Blade Splicer, things like that, when I played like the Juice and Naya deck, it wasn't really what I was worried about. Like, I was much more worried about my opponent having like multiple gut shots and Snapcaster Mages. If you can just take apart their early game while developing your own board, you're going to beat them. But the problem is Joe can't have that early Delver draw, and he's going to get into these stalled board positions. And when you get into a stalled board position, the red green aggro deck has Bonfires.
Yeah.
They win the stall. Eventually they draw it.
Yeah, that is true. All right, well, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
I mean, it definitely is different, like what 3-drop that Joe plays. If Joe plays a Blade Splicer, I think he has a really good chance of winning. If he plays Lingering Souls, I think he's drawing pretty slim.
Yeah, like, he doesn't have Vapor Snags. He's got real removal spells, but those cost more mana. He can't steal a game the same way the Delver decks do.
What do you mean? He can't just play a 1-mana 3/2 and Vapor Snake and Mana Leak everything and just win?
Yeah,
is that what you're saying? Okay. Card is so stupid. All right, so Scott is going down to 6. I told you that Esper Midrange was better for Game 2. You should always listen to me. All right.
And now, something else that's interesting about the sideboard for Scott here is, you know, he has a threesome of Zealous Conscripts in the board, which can be, you know, really good against these, you know, blue ramp decks that we've been seeing, like from Reed Duke and whatnot.
Oh yeah, I mean,
but as a card in general, I feel like that card is much worse right now than it was.
Yeah. It's
just maybe 3 weeks ago, before M13, or 4 weeks ago, before M13 was legal and standard. Zealous Conscripts was just this awesome sideboard card that I loved so much having in my sideboard. By the end, I wanted to play 4 of it. But, you know, as soon as M13 came out, Delver, like 3 to 4 Gutshot Delver is just such a dominant deck everywhere. And I'm just really not happy with that card.
I just love this because this always happens. This is the reason that Magic's so great.
Attention
cards
players,
get
you signed up
good
for
and
$10
bad
draft number 5.
as
$10
weekends go.
draft
Like,
number 5.
and Magic's moving so fast because there's a tournament every weekend, so you see it flow really quick. So
$10 draft number 5.
This tournament every few minutes.
yeah,
Magic Online.
Joe Bernal starts the game off with Seacrum Coast into Thought Scour, and draws a land, puts 2 spells in his graveyard, and draws another land. So it does look like he wanted land, so that's pretty good. You never really know what you needed. But Scott did not start with a birds or an elf, so if he does have a string root, guys, so at least he can put some pressure on Joe.
And that's going to be pretty good here. Joe falling to 18 now from that Shrine Road, guys. Does he have Phantasmal?
He has
no,
the Blade
Splicer, and that's going to be much better here.
Yes, that is going to shut Scott down. He must deal with it, or he cannot attack anymore on the ground. All right, Joe or Scott untaps.
Now, if I'm Scott, like my ideal play for this turn would be a Borderline Ranger. You just want to.
Yeah, you're going to go long.
Yeah,
the Blade Splicer shows
you want to
that-
gum it up.
Yep.
A little rough for Scott here. He's got a pretty long game plan. It looks like he kept a hand that had double bonfire in the opener. And
on the
you know,
mull too. Yeah.
On the mull and 6 cards.
So he is just going to get that Blade Splicer out. He's like, I can't beat a Restoration Angel. I will not be able to do it. If he Restoration Angels gets three threes into play, will not win. So he's like, I just have to get that out of here. I get attack for 2. You can't block because the
1 damage sonnet from the
and
bonfire.
it doesn't have first strike anymore. All right. Some Wrapper gets in for 3 damage.
It's again MC Hammer.
Are they all MC Hammer?
I believe they're all MC
I
Hammer.
don't know 90s rap. I'm sorry.
MC Hammer, you know, you really didn't miss much. Not. No offense to Mr. Hammer.
All right. Restoration Angel comes down, targets the token. Probably not going to use the ability. Gets Crushing Vine and takes 2 more, dropping him to 13.
And it's like Joe's going to continue sending into the red zone here. MC Hammer still.
All right, so this is going to drop Scott to 14, right?
I believe so, yes. I mean, last turn he took 3 from
Yeah.
the Golem, and now he's taking another 3. Yeah, so Scott Ouderkirk playing at a 14 here. And looks like Joe's probably going to pass the turn with Go for the Throat and Forbidden Alchemy up.
You know, that's not really that bad of a choice. Like, I have a bunch of sweet spells to play.
I'm completely fine with that. Scott. Got time for him to make some decisions. Can't really see what's in his hand, but
I bet it's awesome.
still in this game.
Yeah, hopefully as a Huntmaster. Alright, so we're going to, before we take this, Joe wants to cast his Forbidden Alchemy, get some information. Decides not to do that.
Huh.
Always make a decision before you tap your mana. Now Scott's like, what does he have for 3 mana? Like, what casts 3 mana that interacts with my Strider Oak, guys?
Could actually be anything. Alright, so Green Sun Zenith for 4. And what's Joe gonna do here?
I do not know.
Imagine he'll let this resolve. He does have the Go for the Throat in hand. Scott, probably grabbing a Daybreak Ranger here. A Borderland Ranger. I actually like that play better, I think.
Yeah, I do like him casting, or searching out the Borderland Ranger.
Yep. So, Borderland Ranger comes out for Scott here. Again, this is exactly what I want Scott to do in a game like this. I just want him to start making the board something where Joe can't be trading damage with him.
All right.
Matthias Hunt just coming by. 6-0 is his record.
Is this going to be? I've never seen it. I've never seen a SCG commentator come in and after winning a tournament to talk about his win. Is this the first time? I don't know. I'm pretty excited. It's a good storyline. All right.
He's my pick to win.
He's your pick to win? Oh, I'm going with my homeboy playing Trading Post. All right, so Forbidden Alchemy, 3 lands and a Snapcaster. Not really a tough decision.
Now, something else I like about Scott's choice of going Borderland Ranger there is, Joe tanked for a while and then let the green sun resolve. You can kind of assume that he has a removal spell there, so you get a card where, if Joe's using a removal spell on Borderland Ranger, he's behind. He's getting behind it. So
yeah, he's also just making he
does have the Snapcasters
and he has
and the Alchemies and whatnot.
He has a ton of options right now. He's going to be casting a ton of spells. Like, you're fine with doing that. Like, he's thinking about doing this just to make sure he keeps the pressure on. He wants to get the board clear because he needs those Snapcaster mages to start dealing damage. So that's Joe's plan. He just wants to put as much pressure on the board as he can.
Remember, Scott does have multiple bonfires in hand, so he can if he can get up to 7 mana here, he'll definitely have a good amount of value.
All right, so Scott,
another land here for Scott off the top, sending in.
All right, so Snapcaster's. I always love doing this play. So Snapcaster's gonna come in, target, go for the throat, block Strangler Geist, and take care of Strangler Geist.
Yeah, and I mean it's 4 mana to deal with Strangler Geist, but it deals with the Strangler Geist.
For one.
Yeah.
And now, if just in case, like now Scott can't really play a big creature because now there's a go for the throat with flashback, and you just can't allow that to happen.
Although I do think that playing a Huntmaster here is completely fine.
I would much rather just pass.
Attention Magic players, this is the last call to sign up for the Legacy Challenge. Last call to sign up for the Legacy Challenge. If you wanted to play that
number
event,
2.
you can make your way up here immediately.
Next turn, Scott will have access to 6 mana. We know that he has another...
Yeah. He has a Lingering Souls and a Snapcaster Mage. Ooh, and now he drew a Vault.
That's a pretty nice one. Yeah, so Joe, now with this Vault and that Lingering Souls in hand, as long as he doesn't mess up, he's in a really good spot here. Scott eats a little bit of damage. Joe decides just wants to pass the turn. And Strangler Geist is going to come in for another 2 here, dropping Joe down to 9. But it looks like Scott may have something to do pre-combat. Alright, that's 6 mana.
Seems interesting.
Maybe a green sun for 5? That's precisely what it is. Comment. Scott Ouderkirk. Looks a lot like the new Spider-Man.
What was his name again?
Scott Ouderkirk.
Well, no, Spider-Man.
Oh, Peter Parker.
No, the actor.
I don't know.
Andrew Garfield. I actually really like his acting a ton. I was happy that he was Spider-Man.
I haven't seen a movie in a while. I didn't see Batman yet. I'm like in a cave. Alright, so that resolves, and Scott's going to get to search up this Thragtusk. Pop himself back up to 13 here.
Yeah, gets a double creature. It's the green Snapcaster Mage.
Thragtusk is so many things.
It's like
And it's adorable,
you see
too.
Obstinate Baloth, you see Luxon, Hierarch, and then Thragtusk. And you're like, yeah, I'll play with that one.
I want that one. Costs more mana, but does a lot of work. And, you know, it's a big boy. It's got 5 power.
5 power is a lot.
5 power
It's
is a
not
lot
Titan
for 5
time,
mana.
though.
It's definitely on the power level of Titan.
No, it's not.
Like, it costs less mana as far as card power level goes? It is.
No. There's no way. Titans are so powerful.
This costs less mana.
You play this before you play your Titan. This helps you survive before you cast a Titan.
Alright, fine. Whatever.
Alright, Striker.
I think you show somebody a Frost Titan or a Sun Titan, and you show them a Thragtusk, and you say which one's a better Magic card.
Well, you show the average person because they love life gain. Everyone loves life gain.
Really? Nobody loves life gain. Everybody hates life gain.
Everyone loves it. You're completely wrong there. People love life gain.
It's just because I hate it so much.
Yeah.
Alright, so...
Alright, fantastic. Ooh, we get our own Thragtusk. We get our own Thragtusk.
That's pretty nice, dude.
Yes. This is why clones are way too good. Oh, I like what you're doing over there. I'll do that too. That's all I did at the GP in Minneapolis. I didn't even do my own stuff. I just did their stuff.
Attention, Legacy Challenge players.
Especially dangerous because if the Thragtusk dies, you can return it as another Thragtusk if the Thragtusk's still in play.
What does that mean?
So, Joe, I mean, if he can somehow kill that Phantasmal Image, you get a 3/3, then he can return the Phantasmal Image as a Thragtusk again.
Wait, how does that work?
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm being stupid.
You combined...
Yeah, I combined Strangler guys and Thragtusk because they're next to each other.
That's what I was thinking.
I was like, what is going on? Now,
that is the most busted card ever.
But,
please check the list.
a Lingering Soul's coming out for Joe here.
Joe has the most unusual sideboard or graveyard configuration.
It's just all over there.
Yeah.
It looks like it's still ordered, though.
Alright. So Thragtusk comes down, gives Joe some life. Continues to attack. Scott didn't trade the token for Thragtusk. I'm curious why not.
Well, here comes a bonfire for 3 from Scott. It's gonna be pretty nice. Oh no, don't do that.
No.
He wants to do it, he doesn't care.
I always be attacking. Alright, so...
Yeah, but you see, like he... Oh no,
Green
he's
Sun for
5.
another Thragtusk?
So he did side in the second Thragtusk.
I mean, it's so good.
Yeah, it seems
especially
pretty reasonable.
when
so
Joe's nickel and diming him. I see. The thing is sideboard Thragtusk. I even have one in Birthing Pod because the only reason I want another Thragtusk is so it just makes my opponents not be able to just kill my 5, so I can't find my 6. But like, why have sideboard Thragtusk? They're good in every matchup, except Infect.
They're just really good.
Yeah, I want them in every matchup.
It's also a nice card to put in your board if you have some number of it in your main because, you know, there are all these cards you want to take out, and too often, a lot of the times, you have not enough cards to bring in. Thragtusk is kind of just fine in almost every situation. Except Infect, obviously. Just get Ink Mothed out. Cathedral of War.
Alright, so... I would like if Joe starts playing with actual tokens. So one of those is a Blade Splicer and one of them is a Lingering Souls. That is the spirit. Can we get him to put some actual tokens on the board? Alright, thank you very much. It was fine when there was just one, but at this point, like...
Yeah, with one of them being a 1/1 flyer.
Yes.
And just a bit confusing for everybody.
I mean, and the clock is ticking down, like... Joe really needs
6 minutes left.
Yeah, Joe needs to really do something. Like, I don't know how he's going to win this match. All right, just deals with one of the Thragtusk with Go for the Throat, but the problem is all right, he has 2 spears, but he still needs 2 more. It's a joke because it's in the flavor text. They're talking about spears. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, how many spears do you need to take down a Thragtusk?
2. I always bring 2. All right, that's great. So we have a spirit token and a golem. And a draw step for a ponder.
And ponder and another Snapcaster.
Alright, so let's see what ponder gives us. An island, a land, and a land. I think that's a good shuffle yet.
Can't keep that one. Yeah, now Scott, I'm pretty sure his hand is just bonfire, isn't it?
I mean, if it's bonfire, he's just going to easily win 2-0.
He has 7 lands in play. Maybe his hand isn't bonfire, and I'd misread it. But I really think his hand is bonfire.
Sounds like a sweet song. Bonfire. We should go camping.
Yeah, don't play with me, man. You're playing with fire.
We should sever the bow. Oh my god, he's a genius. Woo! Wow, that's a shuffle into a sever the bloodline. You shouldn't have wasted those. I guess you should have wasted the Doom Blades because you still had to kill them. Because leave play.
Yep.
Wow, that was insane. So Thragtusk, Golem, Snapcaster Mage, and Spirit get into the red zone. All Scott has is a Stormgroup Geist on D. Elects not to block, just takes it. I mean, if you have a bonfire, probably. Oh, no, he didn't need that extra land. Does he have? I don't think he has bonfire.
I really think that's a bonfire in his hand.
Okay, it is. He has 1 bonfire. It's scary to go down to 1 life. He doesn't want. I guess he can't. No, because of the sever the bloodline, he can't even hold that back to block.
There's no reason to. Joe falling down to 9 from that bonfire. Joe does have that vault in play. A little bit tough, and that's lethal. So.
All right, that's lethal. They go to game 3 with 3 minutes left. If I had to make a prediction, this game is going to be a draw.
I would have to agree with you. I don't think either of these players can win in 3 turns. Unless, something random happens. If one of them punches the other one in the face, then they can lose the match.
Wait, what? Who's talking about punching?
No, I'm just saying that's like the...
Jake, we are not in the middle of Sunday. During Sunday, we can talk about ridiculous things, but on Saturday, we have to, be civilized.
Seriously, I'm trying to figure out how one of these people can win the match. And I mean...
The drop kick?
Well, that would make them lose, right? So that would make
the other
person win?
Yeah. No, if you drop kick your opponent, you win.
Yeah.
It's not a good thing to do. And not on camera.
Sasquatch could just run in the room and tear one person to pieces.
If that happens...
That'd be terrible. It'd be horrifying. I mean, I wouldn't even be commentating anymore. I'd be running. I mean, it'd be Sasquatch in the room. It's dangerous.
I mean, come on. A room full of people... I would just find a corner that has an exit and watch. If you got to see Sasquatch, destroying stuff, yeah, you gotta watch. Yeah, there is no time extension. There is 2 minutes and 5 seconds left, and that is all we have. And they have to try to finish this. It's not gonna happen. Maybe someone gets a high board position. I mean, Scott's like, come on, dude. I'll shuffle up quick. Let's get this going. Let's get this party started.
Joe's being...
Joe's just doing
reasonable. This is his normal sideboarding.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, you always see situations like this. Whoever has the more aggressive ability, is done shuffling in 3 seconds. The other person's like, well, I'm going to do what I always do.
Yeah. I'm not going to stay slow, but I'm...
Now, if he pile shuffles himself, or mulligans to 3.
And then it could be considered stalling. But I mean, if you have to mulligan, you have to mulligan. You're not.
I'm just thinking of ways
You're gonna play bad to let your opponent have a chance. And that's a mulligan for Joe. So
How'd you even see? What was it?
he's got it was either a no lander or one lander.
Oh yeah. Can't keep that, but we're down to 40 seconds.
Yeah, and it's a draw. So very tight match.
All right.
I think this has been one of the better played matches we've watched so far.
This is both players are playing really well. The game's pretty interesting. Not a ton of combat. They keep ignoring each other and just hitting each other.
Yeah. Well, are you gonna hit me 5? I'll gain 5. Yeah. So.
There's the final round at the end of round 6.
I mean.